it only means one thing: broadband for all. That is wonderful news indeed, and it is Main One's plan to develop critical broadband infrastructure across Lagos State and provide ubiquitous broadband connectivity. Wow. Digital Lagos will impact all sectors of the economy, spawn innovation, attract foreign investment, and generate high-skilled jobs. Well, the person behind all this happens to be a woman, and she's the Chief Executive Officer of Main One, Mrs. Funke Opeke. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You brought good news, and our hope is that this good news we will not have to wait too long to see. Digital Lagos, tell us about that.
Digital Lagos is Main One's plan to deploy pervasive fiber infrastructure all over Lagos. And when we say all over Lagos, we truly mean all over Lagos State. So all LGAs, Badagry, Kurudu, Amuwo, Odofin, all parts of Lagos, all public places. Over 1,000 health centers have been identified, over 3,000 tertiary institutions, over 300 government agencies. The infrastructure will connect towers to enable 4G, will connect all these institutions to enable direct access to the internet, would enable connection of cameras for security, monitoring in public places, the new bus stations, airports, train stations.
So, just taking life online.
Online, yes. It's about time.
So you will be able to, oh my God, you'll be able to have Wi-Fi on the move, on the go.
Well, Wi-Fi on the go, the technology, depending on the Wi-Fi network you're on, but I would say as in advanced economies, what we expect is in most public places, you will be able to get Wi-Fi. So be it at the airport, or you're waiting at a bus station, or you're in a government office, or hospital, or whatever, or eateries and malls and places, universities, institutions, you would be able to get Wi-Fi services.
What has the reaction of the Lagos State been to this idea?
Oh, I think the incoming government, right from when Mr. Sanwo-Olu was campaigning, has included technology as a major flank of their programs. They recognize that technology is critical to create jobs, and the barrier to technology jobs is much higher than building factories or some of the other programs. And even with agriculture, you need technology. And how many of our people, our young people, are going back to the farms, or are going to pick up a hoe? Anyway, so you need modern agriculture, even if you're doing agriculture. And Lagos does not have as much land. It's more about services, and technology is what you need for service economy. And I think the new administration has it as part of their program, that to make Lagos a 21st century economy.
They call it the smart city.
The smart city, exactly, yes. The smart, to turn Lagos from a mega city to a smart city, we need this infrastructure. So they're very encouraging.
Okay, so let's look at this bit about boosting the economy of Lagos via this project.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course, you said it will affect everything. It will create more jobs, smarter jobs, innovation and all. But then the other bit about security is right now, when people go online, they are afraid. They're afraid of their accounts being hacked. They're afraid of all sorts of things. So would this in any way be taken into cognizance?
Yes, it is taking into cognizance. And as we move into a more digital economy, we actually also have the opportunity to introduce more technology to manage identity. So digital identities are a really big issue. So if you're doing transactions, how do we verify that indeed your signature is the right one and someone is not hacking, as you say, into your account? So we need to educate more. We need to leverage technology, machine learning, artificial intelligence. As our businesses go online, security needs to be an integral part of it. But yes, things are going to be happening faster, and greater transaction volumes. But it's still the same kind of precautions of verifying, validating, having multiple data points with which you can validate the identity of a certain individual. So when a grandmother is buying video games, for example, you know the profile, and you can say, no, that is not likely to be a transaction from that. And you're seeing a lot of our tech companies, our fintechs, are starting to adopt those technologies in terms of the applications that they're pushing out.
Okay, now here in country we have these conversations around broadband, around people going digital and across the country, not just Lagos. There are certain challenges that people encounter, and indeed the tech companies are also encountering. What are those companies, and is there a way that Main One's helping out?
Well, what we're trying to do is provide this open, common infrastructure. And we all know about the infrastructure deficit we have. When we compare Lagos to other leading cities, other smart cities, even smart cities across the continent, you look at a city like Nairobi of only 3 million, and the amount of fiber infrastructure they have and the quality of the infrastructure that's able to attract global techs, a lot of foreign direct investment, we haven't really kept up. Our immediate focus for this initiative is on Lagos, and we're talking about Digital Lagos. But likewise, there is the opportunity to go into cities across the country and provide this kind of technology. And by doing it in a shared, open way where all operators, government agencies, businesses are able to share this common infrastructure, it can actually go further into the population. So we've done some pilots, we've done some work in 2018 and into 2019 in Abeokuta and Benin that are pilots for this concept, and where it's very early days, but the results are very promising in terms of the number of service providers, some of the MNOs, Wi-Fi providers, state government agencies that are coming onto this networks very quickly and enabling broadband at various locations. And we think Lagos is overdue to have the same.
Main One is a private company.
Yes.
So what's in it for Main One?
This is part of our business. Main One was founded in 2008. In 2010, we invested $240 million into a submarine cable to connect Nigeria to the rest of the world. Till today, that cable is less than 10% utilized. So we have this big highway to the rest of the world, but we're starving here. And so we need to build this distribution network to get this bandwidth, to get our people connected. It's not good enough that we brought it to Lagos. We have to get it to the people of Lagos and use it as it's being used in other economies across the globe to transform the lives of the people in Lagos. We've got to have internet in our schools. We've got to have access in public places. Our service providers have to be able to deliver 4G. We're still largely a 3G, and in some rural parts of the country, a 2G economy when the rest of the world is talking about 5G. So this is the kind of infrastructure that's required. And what better place to do that in a pervasive way than Lagos?
But you talked, Aleo asked you a question about how the Lagos state government is buying into this, and you brought in the incoming government. You didn't mention what the current government is doing about it. So the question I want to ask is, what if, when that new government comes in, what if they're not really interested, as they've said they are?
Well, it would be unfortunate for the people of Lagos. It would be unfortunate for us as an economy, as a society. How are we going to create these jobs? I mean, I think I would be very positive that we have a great enlightened administration coming in. They have made it a flank of their campaign policy. We know them. We have engaged them during the course of the campaign, and they seem committed to enabling the people of Lagos. And unfortunately, or fortunately, if you look around the globe, I don't think there's any economy that's growing in the 21st century where technology and broadband is not playing a major role. So we desperately need it. I do not believe that our government will not enable us to do this work. It's private sector money that we have lined up to do this, over 25 billion that we're going to pump into the Lagos economy at the first instance. We have a track record, 240 million. We've continued to invest in Lagos. We've invested over 120 billion in our short history. Okay. And we believe that the government understands the power of private sector investment and technology investment, and that we will have their support.
Okay, so since you've used the word impacting the people of Lagos,
yes,
the phrase multiple times.
Yes,
so let's see. An average household that wants to benefit from this when it's done, how much would they be spending?
It varies on what your pocket is. And that's why our model of open shared infrastructure really works. So even in Lagos today, with the limited infrastructure we have, we're enabling mobile operators, we're enabling established ISPs, internet service providers, we're enabling some of the more disruptive ISPs who are providing Wi-Fi services. We have already over 500,000 users enjoying services like Express Wi-Fi, which give you some amount of free access and gives you an on-ramp to the internet where you can buy in really small increments. We're providing internet in some public parks that is totally free. And so when you have, such as Murio Kuala Park, the parks in front of, in Alausa, there are 2 parks right in front of the Secretariat, internet is free because we can get the infrastructure there. So as we can get this infrastructure around more parts of the state, you would expect to see more of that. If you don't have the wallet, perhaps you can go to a public venue. Our schools, our universities, our public places, like you have in advanced economies. You land in any airports or you go into many eateries and you're able to have that. Yeah. And there are business models that support that the economy of Lagos and the population of Lagos can definitely support.
But then, Oluwafemi is wondering how Wi-Fi in public places will affect the telcos who now get their major revenue from data.
Well, how does it affect the telcos in global markets? Data and access to data and digital economies is how the world exists today. So these technologies coexist. In reality, you're using spectrum or frequencies, which when we start downloading movies, as you said, you were talking about buffering just before we came on air, some of the mobile channels are limited. Wi-Fi gives you more diversity. In advanced economies, what you have is mobile networks actually in public places offloading onto Wi-Fi to backhaul and evacuate the huge amount of traffic. So they are complementary, and what we need to do is, as you said, give our consumers, depending on the size of their wallet, our youth population, access to the services. And certainly Wi-Fi or internet access for our young people, for people in schools or tertiary institutions, is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Now, we need to run now, but just before we go, just one more question. How long do we have to wait for this?
Within 12 months, you'll feel the impact. Within 6 months, we'll start feeling the impact in parts of Lagos. This is a major construction project. We have to carefully dig in the roadways, lay the fiber, dig under the roadways so we're not damaging public infrastructure, a lot of planning, but we're ready to go, and within 12 months I can assure you of getting all the necessary permits that Lagos will be digital.
Are you also looking at the, would you also be considering the role that, how do you say that, Omoniles and area boys and all those ones take into?
So yes, that is part of what makes it 12 months. We're able to do smaller cities like Abeokuta or Benin in about 6 and have great coverage. So Lagos will take a little bit longer, But part of this is the public education and the benefits to their children in schools, the benefits to their communities to having these services. We are Nigerians, and we hope that collectively we'll pull together with all the people of Lagos to make this a success.
I have one more question for you, Alera.
We've run out of time.
Just one more question. Talk to us about internet security, because that's one area a lot of people are concerned about. Cyberspace security. Internet
security is a real and present issue, and the dangers could be huge. The networks themselves, the networks that we deploy are reasonably secure. Now, it's the application of the technology. Our cybersecurity laws need to be enhanced. Our enforcement needs to be better. And institutions adopting the technology also need to have better security mechanisms in place. Just like in advanced economy, sometimes when you go, they'll tell you that this website is secure, and you know it is encrypted, it is protected, and your passwords or any transactions information you put in is not going to be compromised. And so as technology adoption increases here, that's what our businesses have to do, and the consumers also need to be educated that they should only deal with trusted and certified businesses online.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Funke Okweke, the Chief Executive Officer of Main One, who are bringing broadband for all to Lagos, making Lagos digital. Good luck, and we hope that in 12 months' time you will sit in that chair again and tell us how far all this has gone, and we will be telling you how it's impacting on us who live in Lagos. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sunrise will return in just a moment with another interesting conversation. Do stay with us.